Hello.
Hello.
So guys, tonight I'm going to be working on finishing up this character piece. This is Nightbow, one of the Antis Comics characters. And while I do that, we'll be taking questions. Terry will be reading questions and answering what she can, and I'll be hearing questions and answering what I can. So.
And if you could share this on Twitter.
Yeah, share it on Twitter, on all that. Get the word out. Tonight the Kickstarter launches. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the rewards. We're going to talk about what we're trying to do. I don't want to give away too much story stuff, but we're gonna talk about things. Feel free to ask questions. No troll. If anybody pops up as a troll, tell me their screen name so I can block them. Terry will be doing the same. Hey Nick, how you doing, man? It's Nick.
It's Nick.
Nick from Becky's, back in Cherry Hill.
Okay.
Nick's claim to fame,
okay,
is he taught Ethan Van Sciver how to draw.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
That is Nick. Nick is the guy who taught Ethan how to draw and got Ethan drawing. And I heard Ethan admit that at a con. So
it must be true.
So it's true.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get working. I'm working, before we get started, I'm working in Manga Studio. And I'm inking a piece, a digital penciled piece. I didn't like the way it was turning out before. That's just the inks. I wasn't crazy about the particulars of the hair and certain things, so I changed it up a little bit. I like it better now. I like the look she has, the shaved on the side and the hair pulled back into a braid and.
For those of you who don't know, Tom is working on this sketch on a Cintiq.
This is a 21UX Cintiq. I love drawing digitally. In fact, for the exception of the rewards that offer original pages, I'm going to say 95% of all the Antis comics will be drawn digitally. Covers will be a hybrid of both digital and traditional. And let's get started. I'm going to start drawing.
The kind with the screen or just the tablet?
This is the screen. This is I'm drawing right on the screen. It's Cintiq.
How does it feel that they're asking me how it feels to be a CEO? I have so much power right now. It's just crazy.
And the reality is that we're not a corporation, so she's not really a CEO, but she is the boss.
I am owner, publisher,
I am
editor.
The chief creative officer. So.
Can you give any tips on coloring?
I'm actually not a great colorist, at least in my opinion.
We are actually paying a phenomenal
We're going to be paying Jeremiah Skipper to color the Antis books because he does a great job. In fact, the Kickstarter will have a 4-page preview, as will it have other art previewed. Some of it you guys have seen. I'm not going to lie. Oh, wait. That's not what I wanted to do.
What software are you using on?
This is Manga Studio.
So,
actually, I wanted to do the bow because it's really light.
Jeremiah Skipper is, and I'm really, really critical. Oh, we got dogs that are getting crazy. I got the water bottle out, so they.
So if they hear it, they're playing. It's like litter play because they're two little ones, but they get a little too nuts and gotta spray them.
So,
little water spray.
What I was saying is I'm super critical of colorists. Yes, Boris is the one who's laying the smack down over there.
Yeah.
And so Jeremiah is probably, he's probably one of the few colorists that I've actually liked that have done work with Tom that I feel like really emphasizes his work and does such a great job working together with him.
If we miss your question, feel free to re-ask it. Don't be afraid. Questions go by pretty fast.
What is my comic history? As far as working in the industry, honestly, I've never done that. I've worked as a photographer doing event stuff, with the exception of doing Tom's color assists on the Rush comic book.
She did, yeah. She helped me do the colors for that because it was such a tight deadline. I needed her help. She did all my flats.
other than that, I mean, I don't have a deep. It's just having worked with Tom for the last 15 years and going to every comic book convention known to man and learning how to do all this stuff and how to know my stuff on the fly so that I can answer questions correctly. And I still mess up sometimes, and Tom yells at me for it. It's fine. Let's see. So for those of you who don't know, and I can't even imagine how you could possibly not know, Tom and I are launching the Kickstarter in less than 3 hours. So at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Not at 10 o'clock. I mean midnight Eastern Standard Time.
I'm sorry. 9 o'clock Pacific Time.
See, you got to correct her every once in a while.
Oh my God! I still have the squirt bottle here. At 9 o'clock Pacific Time and midnight at midnight. I haven't had any mimosas today. Maybe that's the problem.
That is the problem.
To Tom, what is your favorite type of paper to draw on?
Blank.
Blank paper.
Actually, I really don't have. I mean, I like drawing on the tone paper. I like drawing on cards. Anything with a little bit of a tooth to it. It doesn't have to be a big one, but you don't want anything too slick or By the way,
it sort of grabs the whatever materials he's using.
I'm totes doing this, by the way.
And for the other person, Tom does actually draw on paper quite a lot.
Yeah, this is the digital thing is because the reason I want to do digital is that I really want this to be perfect. I want it to be the best product I put out, and I want it to get better every time we do it. And so by me doing the comics digitally, I don't have to go through tons and tons of paper. I can make mistakes and fix them easily. It's really a choice that a decision I made recently, because the preview pages are done traditionally. Yeah. See, I can do shit like this. Excuse my language. Sorry.
Can we get some of the character descriptions? Oh, earlier somebody asked who the smartass character in the universe is.
Actually, believe it or not, it's going to be Midnight.
Yeah.
Midnight's going to be the smartass. Actually, why don't I pull up some characters?
Let's do that.
We'll take a break from drawing, and I'll even though it just started, not really a break, but let's open up some characters, and we'll talk about these guys.
When you get the wiki up, we can get the gist.
I hadn't even thought about starting up the wiki. Yeah.
Oh my God! Mind blown.
Okay, so, all right, let's start with Midnight. We'll wait. We'll
right now. Part of our thing is the website. We have somebody who's going to work on our website for us and get that up hopefully soon. Once the Kickstarter comes into play, that will help us pay for our the website, which is not cheap but totally worth it.
Yeah, that is one thing I'm not gonna lie. A website is not cheap. Let me open them up. You
want to have it done right. It's gonna cost a little bit of cash.
I gotta open them as books are coming out, so we can go in that order, and then
I'm going to do a preview of the video from the Kickstarter.
I will. I did it the other night, and I'm gonna do it again in a little bit.
So we have a bunch of great rewards. For the books too. So for the Kickstarter to come out, so something as cheap as $5, where you're actually getting something, to something totally vanity wise and awesome.
Yeah. So this is Midnight. I've had Midnight for I don't even know how many years.
Longer than we've been.
Longer than we've been together. I've had Midnight. Well, there was a Midnight before him, but he was called something else. He was called Devil Knight many moons ago, and then we changed it, and I think it was a better decision. That was actually a decision we made while we were together. But years ago, Mark Texiera did a painted cover for me of the original Midnight. That will come into play in the second series. That cover will be finally used. And there'll be a reason for it. But basically, the Antis universe is centered on Philadelphia. I mean, there will be other cities and locations used, but the center of the Antis universe is Philadelphia. It's where I'm from. It's where all my friends are. It's a major city that, you know, I feel doesn't get as much love as it should, despite, you know...
Decided being the city of brotherly love.
It's the city of brotherly love, yeah. And he's a vigilante. He does not have powers. He's a doctor during the day.
Is Midnight an Eagles fan?
Yes, he is. Actually, here's the thing, and I've been vacillating on this. And the reality is that I probably would need to get this squared away now, but in the first Midnight series for Red 5 Comics, they were at a hockey game. They were at a Broad Street Bullies game. They were at a Philadelphia Bullies game, which is like the Flyers, the same colors and everything, but had a slightly different logo. And my thought process is that if I can create original teams based on the existing teams, if this goes well, I can create merchandise. My own merchandise, but it's my own hockey jerseys and football jerseys and stuff.
Nerd.
It's like, I know, but think about it, it's perfect merch. It's kind of like what's his name? The Smith did with the zombies for Zach and Miri.
Yeah.
The hockey team. Anyway, but I also considered contacting the teams, but I feel like they would drag their feet on it. So I think while technically he's going to be an Eagles fan, he will be he's going to be a Philadelphia sports fan. He's going to, the Monroeville Zombies. But he will be a Philadelphia sports fan, whether in the time between now and when the first issue is published, because he's going to be watching a Bullies game with his daughter in the second issue. Mm-hmm. Whether or not that is still the case and it turns into the Flyers, who knows? I wouldn't mind having a midnight night at a Flyers game.
That would be super awesome. That's
what I mean. Like, you never know. So I am going to investigate it, see who I need to contact concerning that. But yeah. And so Midnight and he's also the smartass. He's really into pop culture. You're going to find it out very early. He is he takes really good care of himself. He takes really good care of his family. He's smart funny. But he also has that edge. He also knows when, you know, like, I feel like he won't be making jokes I don't know. I mean, like, it's still up in here because there are scenes I've already written where he is still a smartass during the most crucial of times. So I guess I'm lying when I say that. Stop lying.
Does he have a no-kill rule?
Yes.
In
fact, there is actually only there's as of right now there's only 2 heroes in the Antis universe who have killed. One quite a bit, but I'm using the past tense. They have killed, and we'll get into that as the stories progress.
So, for those of you who perhaps never read the original books put out by Red 5 Comics, the character's real life job is he's a doctor. So it would be difficult for him to be a killer. I
saw that question. How well does Midnight get along with the other heroes? Actually, Midnight's the one that gets along with everybody. It's quite a contradiction to, say, Batman, or say Iron Man, who rubs certain people the wrong way, or Batman, who just doesn't want to be close to anybody. He's actually you're going to get cameos through the books. And what's going to happen is that there are a couple, like the second issue. Is it the second issue? It is. No, I'm sorry. It is the third issue. We get
Batman.
We get a cameo from Nightbow, the character who I've been working on, who I started working on when we started the broadcast. She's going to cameo. The end of the first issue, you get a cameo from a character who is introduced in Phase 1, a major character but I don't want to give too much away as to how they're introduced and so on and so forth. We're going to hold that back a little bit. And Midnight is going to pop up in other series, and like this, the way we're structuring the comic company is not unlike Marvel does with their movies. We're doing it like this, and I'm going to open up a graphic to show you guys what I'm talking about. And I posted this on the online, but this is the Antis Comics Phase 1 graphic. The Kickstarter is essentially to fund Midnight 1 through 3. But there are stretch goals to fund Antis Comics Presents 4 through 6, M, and B'Elanna War Goddess 7 through 9. It's one title. It falls under Antis Comics Presents, and then it's 1, 2, 3, that's one story. 4, 5, 6, another story. 7, 8, 9, the third story. Another Midnight story is 10 through 12. Olakan is a one-shot. Olympus is a 3-issue story arc, and this could change. Whatever, B'Elanna was originally going to be a one-shot, but her story grew in my head so big that it needed 3 issues.
Tommy, can you remember what Aegis stands for without looking?
Aegis stands for the Association for Enforcement and Guidance of Inherent Super Beings, and I did cheat because it's right here. So,
let me explain.
Wait, hold on. Why'd you pick the name Antis? And I'm going to explain.
That's what I was going to do.
Oh, go ahead. You explain it. Go ahead.
But I missed the next question because you got.
Okay. Well, you keep an eye on the questions.
Okay.
Let me answer the Antis thing is more. I grew up with that. Okay. So my dad, when he talks and tells stories or whatever he tells, it's sometimes long-winded, sometimes short and to the point. But
not unlike somebody else.
Not unlike somebody else in the room right now that doesn't have boobs, or let's technically say man boobs. She doesn't have man boobs. My dad would always end a story with, and there it is. So basically it's kind of an anagram of, and there it is. It's something my father has always said. So Antis Comics is, and there it is. And even the letter, I've already thought about this, the letters page, it's going to be called, and there it is. Mm-hmm. So that's that.
Yes, it's an homage to Tom's dad, who's very, very important to us. And actually, early on, we did a fan film, and our production company was called Antis as well.
Yes,
so.
And my father my father in some form, whether it's a younger version or an older version, makes cameos in every one of my comics.
He does.
He was in Mind of Mirrors.
Yes.
He was in Brooklyn Gladiator. The only one he wasn't in was The Simpsons because it was...
you can't really do that.
Yeah, and I think he was in one of the Star Wars comics in the background.
But to be perfectly honest, Tom's dad is sort of our good luck charm with his appearances in the book.
Our Greg Greenberg or John Ratzenberger.
Yes, he's our John Ratzenberger.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? So your dad's the Stan Lee of making cameos in books. Sort of, yes.
Yes.
That would be...
I'm sure he'll find a way to ask me for money for that.
Steve Hodges, or better known as Chief.
Yeah, everyone calls him Chief.
Where will the comic be sold?
This comic will be sold after the Kickstarter. It will be just the goal is to have it distributed by Diamond to comic retailers. And it'll be digitally. It'll be distributed digitally as well.
So we're hoping.
And from us at conventions.
We're hoping to be able to put it on like Comixology, which is owned by Amazon, so it'll be available for Kindle.
Yes.
And all of those formats.
It will, and that's the point of the Kickstarters. We want to be able to get the time. We want to be able to invest the time in getting a product put out that is not only worthy of being on the racks next to the Marvel and DC and Image books, the IDW books, all those books. Like, here's the thing: I work in an industry.
We will be at WonderCon.
I will be at WonderCon. Yes, I work in an industry that has so much talent in it, but it also has little work compared to the amount of talent there is. So, in order to stand out, I finally come to the decision that this is how I will stand out. I've been creating these characters. Midnight's been written for years. M has been written for over 10 years. Balana has been in many forms. Olympus has been in many forms. Jolt is probably the newest character out of all of these characters. But there's other ones in the works. In fact, there's Kickstarter rewards where you can become a hero. So, or a villain, or a sidekick, or a henchman, or a cameo, or I mean, those are the higher end ones. But you know, for $1, you wish us well. For $5, you're going to get a digital copy of the first comic. You know, we're gonna put out something that we want to put out something that's quality. We don't want to put out something that's why we're breaking it up into different stories. Because number one, the universe will be cohesive, and it'll be consistent. And eventually, it'd be great that, you know, after phase 1's over, which would be issue 26, we would be able to branch out and maybe give Midnight his own title, or Em her own title, or whoever winds up being that character that everyone wants that one title will branch off, and we'll be able to hire an artist and hire another writer and hire another colorist and bring in more people and branch out, but branch out slowly.
In the universe, how long have these characters been active?
Midnight has been active the longest. Well, I mean, technically, Balana has. Balana is a Roman god. But literally all hell breaks loose. The villain in Balana will be Hades. And for lack of a better term, Hades, in my version of Hades, is going to be scary as shit.
The Kickstarter begins at midnight.
Midnight Eastern time, tonight. And I will post a link in my Instagram. Midnight has been... The Midnight story takes place 10 years after the Red 5 Midnight story. So he's been around for a while. And in that original story, he was kind of a folk hero, kind of an urban legend, whereas now everyone knows he's around. And in fact, in the first series, in issue 2, as a matter of fact, we discuss how it's such a new phenomenon that science can't ignore it, and they start talking about, his hospital starts up a whole division to study super beings and super villains and so on and so forth. Am I opposed to other artists drawing my characters? No. As a matter of fact, one of my goals is that if we do really well with the Kickstarter, I've already talked to several artist friends who are quite popular about doing future covers.
Yes.
I don't want to give away names or anything, but we've talked to some guys who, if they did especially for the M cover, the guy who I want for the M cover, we'll do it justice beyond belief.
The other question was, will this be a monthly book?
It will be a monthly book. It will be Antis Comics Presents will be a monthly book. That's how it will work. It will, concurrent. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. And why don't you
get back to some art?
Why don't you play the little video?
Okay. Would you guys like to see your video?
Can you see the video?
Now, keep in mind, please, that this is there will be a replacement video because there's some art that has been let me close that. I just wanted to close my mail because I don't want the noise to come through. There will be a replacement video because there's some stuff that I wanted them to edit back in and change, and so. But until then,
is, by the way, professional.
This was done by the Refinery in Los Angeles. My good friend since first grade did me an amazing favor. And I can't tell you how much it means to me that he did this for me.
Yes.
They did movie trailers for Creed, and they did a lot of Disney and Pixar.
So many other things.
And so many movies, and he's awesome.
Was he in your ET class? What is
ET? What's the ET class?
I was thinking phonome. Anyway, play the video.
Okay, we've been friends since first grade.
So we won't be we won't be answering questions for just a few moments because
we're going to show the video. Okay, so pay attention, guys. So hold on to your questions for a minute.
Where you drew.
Brett was in that class with me. Yes.
That's awesome.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Hodges. I am Chief Creative Officer of Antis Comics. I've spent the last 12, 15 years creating for other people. Everyone from George Lucas to doing stuff for the Simpsons comics and doing things for the band Rush. Everything that I've done has made me see this is the time to put my stuff out there. What's going to make Antis Comics special is the characters. The first character you're going to meet is Midnight. He's a vigilante. He went from being an urban legend, an urban myth, to being someone that the city of Philadelphia pretty much depends on. Until recently, he was kind of the only superhero that really people knew about. And now there are these supervillains and these criminals who like gimmicks, and it's a world that's changing. And Antis Comics, when we pick up this storyline with Midnight, is the beginning of Anne, Alana, Olakan, Jolt, everyone. The Kickstarter is the ground floor of Antis Comics. The ultimate goal is to put forth my own universe in a creative way that hasn't really been done before. And what we're going to do is we're going to present the comic as one storyline, weaving in and out of each other. Instead of getting, Midnight #1 and M #1, you're going to get Antis Comics Presents Midnight 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to get Antis Comics Presents M 4, 5, and 6, and so on and so forth, until the end of Phase 1, which would be about 21 months, and then the last 4 issues of the phase would be a big event comic that brings all of our heroes together. We're going to have some surprises in there. We're going to have some fun with it, and we'll see what happens.
Woo! You guys can all clap. I'm just imagining you all so excited and applauding from your own homes.
I hope that got people pumped for this, because it gets me pumped, and that's not even the final video.
Are you going to make M more curvy? M is very
I am going. No, I'm making her. I've already just. It was something we talked about. This is actually something I discussed the other night. I'm making M a little curvier. I want her to be.
I think so.
I think it's a great idea. I have an idea of how I want her to look, and I think making her a little, because there will be some story changes to her story anyway, because it needs to be adjusted for the Antis universe.
And I want to point out, just from my perspective as
this is M as we know her now.
From my perspective as a female who is involved in this comics company, who is one of the owners of it, there are more female characters in this universe than there are males. And
their female characters are
pandering.
much
It's
more
just
fun to
'cause
draw.
They're so much.
They're
more
fun to draw. They're fun to write, and
Is Midnight a Star Wars or Harry Potter fan?
probably both. In fact, there's a bunch of Star Wars references in the first book.
There are totally Star
in the first
Wars
3 issues. There's a bunch of Star Wars references. Well, there's a couple of Star Wars references. There's no Potter references,
Perhaps Midnight's wife might be
a big Potter
fan.
nerd.
She might be a Potter nerd.
And we're not telling. Now, here's the thing: in the original series, Midnight's wife was his partner, Nightingale, and we decided there's going to be a reason she's not in the forefront on the cover or even in the action, and you'll see why when the book launches. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away,
but you'll like it. It's going to be.
You'll
exciting.
dig it. And this is M as she is now, but like I said, she's going to be a little bit curvier. I feel like,
I kind of like it to go along with the image that you have before that's in the video.
By the way, you see Kip's nose in the shot. That's Kip's nose. Here, you want to see Kip? Kippers.
And say hi to everybody.
Hi, I'm Kip. I'm cute.
Drawing women is more of a challenging.
It was a challenge for me as well. Just something you got to work at. The more you draw and draw from life drawing, really just practice. It makes perfect. I used to have a problem with drawing women. I used to have trouble with drawing hands. I used to have trouble with drawing feet. I used to have trouble drawing women, and now I have no problem drawing women.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. And that's another thing. When it comes to donating, Donate early. You don't get charged until the end of the campaign.
And I want to be clear with this. This is not donating.
Yeah, you guys are going to get rewards. You guys are going to get rewards, and especially. And here's the other thing: people who get digital comics and not physical copies. I'm hoping that you like the book enough that when it comes out, you actually buy it. And after reading it, you got to wait till midnight comes. I'll tell your retailers, you got to order midnight. You got to have Tom come in and do in store. You got to do this. Nothing's gonna once this comes out, once the books start releasing, we're gonna do a lot more conventions. We're gonna do a lot more traveling. We're gonna come to as many shows as we can and get the books to you guys and do as many in stores as we can. I know right off the bat, when the first midnight book is released, we're going to have an opening party at Fat Collectibles in Anaheim the day it comes out. That weekend, I'm going to be in Phoenix at Dr. Fantasies. Yep. And I've already talked to Sal Fischera in Jersey about coming out to South Jersey and doing a signing in Morristown, New Jersey.
Awesome.
South Jersey, Morristown. Be careful with this cord because when they jump up. Yeah, I don't want them knocking it over.
Dr. Fantasies is our store when we're in Arizona.
Yeah, when I'm in Glendale / Phoenix, that is my store. Jeff is one of my good friends, the owner, and if you get a reward with the physical comics, they're going to be signed already.
Yes. But, it's not terrible to... And, yes, we are doing variant covers. We're doing a sketch cover.
Every first issue of a comic, of a story, like Antis Comics presents Midnight #1, and, M is #4. Each first story comic will have a sketch cover variant. We'll be contacting when we get the ball rolling and we get into Diamond. I will literally be contacting every retailer in the country and as many as I can overseas in the UK and telling them you got to order midnight. You got to get midnight. I want people to even if they order a couple copies for the store. I want people to be excited about this. I want people to get into it.
Blank variants.
Yeah, that's what a sketch cover variant is. Yeah. Antis Comics Presents #1 Midnight will have a sketch cover variant. It's actually one of the rewards. They're in one of the rewards. And Antis Comics Presents #4 will have which is the first story of M, the first issue with the M story. We'll have a sketch cover variant. It's all incorporated into Kickstarter.
Yes.
Like I said, when we launch...
We have stretch goals.
We have stretch goals that would take us all the way through all of Phase 1. It's just there's no... I look at it like this. It was amazing, absolutely amazing how well Womanthology did. Renee DeLiz did an amazing job on that. She did a great job, and they put out a great product, and they raised more money than anyone thought they could. This is what I want to do.
The Kickstarter is launching at midnight Eastern Time, which is 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So that is in about 6:30?
It's 6:30. So in about 2.5 hours, it will launch. And let's go to the next character. Here's B'Elanna, the war goddess. This is one of my favorites.
We're going to try signing at other OC stores. We'll sign at any store that will have us.
Yeah, any store. I'm going to talk to Glynis at Comic Book Hideout. I'm going to talk to... I'm going to see, maybe Meltdown will have us over. Yeah, awesome. Who knows? Maybe we'll do some in San Francisco. There's a couple shops in San Francisco.
That would be super exciting because, that's my place.
Whoever will have us and wants to bring us out, we'll do a signing.
Do you have character design tips?
When you're designing a character, don't look at other characters. One of my pet peeves is when someone's like, well, these are my original characters, and they're literally like rehashes of Dragon Ball Z characters. I've seen it more times than you know, than I care to share.
Plans for Comixology.
Yes. In fact, early digital will be the plan for these comics.
Yeah. Comixology is actually owned by Amazon. For those of you who didn't know, they're tied in together, so I'd like them to be available for Kindle for those people.
And they will be.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna play games like I buy most of my comics digitally, so I want them to be available for comic book fans like me. Aren't you a big comic book artist?
I don't consider myself very big, actually. I mean, I feel like, and here's the thing, I feel like this is what may put me in that position.
For us, it's not even about what Tom has done in the past. This is ours, and we'll have control over it.
Yes.
It's our original ideas, which have been published, which was published by Red 5 Comics, but at this point, we don't want to look at publishing outside of us. We want to have that control. We want to start our own thing, and we want to be able to create and have the ability to create what we want without somebody getting involved.
Where can you get the older Midnight comic? Red 5 Comics may still have some. Although at conventions, I have some myself, I may be bringing to shows.
Yeah, I don't see that being it'll be like...
It'll probably be like, you know...
What sort of target audience are you looking for? Any material not suitable for young people?
Well, okay, that's a great question. It's going to be a PG-13. In the case of some of the comics, it's going to be a hard PG-13. We're going to push it the best we can because... M and Balana are pretty violent books, but we're going to pull it back a little bit, especially M, which was originally written as a mature comic. And so I have had to make some compromises with that, but at the same time, it benefits the grand storyline, so I'm okay with it. It's not something that I didn't want to do. Like, I literally jumped out. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Let's do it. Let's change it up.
And the reality is if I have some ideas I've talked to Tom about, if it seems like there's a call for a younger audience too, we may venture out into something like that as well. But it will be after this first series.
If I had to do, if any book was going to be a hard R, it was going to be M, but I want to keep the audience able to follow everything. You never know. I have a few ideas for future books, depending on how it goes, and future characters. But the core grouping of these characters is PG-13, and like I said, we will push a hard PG-13. So we'll see how it goes. I want to get this material to as many people as possible.
Yes.
Midnight for sure is a straightforward PG-13. You know, there'd be some violence, comic book violence,
but it's really about comic book violence.
Yeah. You know, there are some sexual situations in M and Balana and that's just par for the course.
Do
but
you
it
have
won't...
a favorite character?
Ooh. I love them all. And M and Midnight and M, their storylines have been written for a while. But I'm really excited to start writing Balana's story because it's got some I've got some great ideas. Plus, it has more heart than I thought it was going to have originally, and so that's going to be it's going to be fun to write.
Me personally is M. I liked M a lot when Tom first wrote it because it really didn't play in the comic book or in the sort of superhero universe, and now it sort of plays a little bit. But
which one of my characters would I want to have a beer with? All of them. Midnight, definitely. But yeah, and I have planned or M.
You'd have to worry that there was something slipped in your drink.
No, that's not how she works. It's too obvious.
Okay, let's show some other characters.
Okay. Here is Olympus.
I know some of you have seen Tom posting these online.
Olympus is named after Mount Olympus in mythology. Is that? Yeah. I was just making sure that wasn't a real one. He's named after a hill in South Jersey.
The Olympics are named after. character.
I know. But I don't want to give too much away about him because he actually, and his best friend in this, let's put it this way. I'm going to give you a quick little blurb about him. He's a New York City firefighter who was in a coma for over 15 years. Actually, for 15 years. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say. But one of his best friends is another firefighter named Ryan, who I'm basing off of my friend Ryan Adza. And there's a reason for that. And I'm not going to get into that either. But he'll appreciate it.
So we should expect that Ryan is not going to go for the sidekick.
Yeah, Ryan won't be pledging the sidekick too. Oh, I forgot to put up Jolt.
He's already sort of a sidekick.
Jolt is who I was drawing the other night, by the way, when I was on here.
Wow, you guys are quick. You're good.
Actually, here's the thing. You say 9/11, but yes and no. His coma was not caused by 9/11. But you're on to something because it is actually part of the story. Here's Jolt. This is the one I was doing the other night. And I love how she came out. She's actually one of my favorites right now because I love the way she looks.
She's gotten a lot of good reception.
People really like the way she looks. People love her look. And I showed him the other night who it's based off of. It's actually based off of Lucy. Mm-hmm. And she looks like the character. So
she won't be pledging either.
So she won't be pledging either. She won't need to. Although I'm fully expecting her to cosplay as herself.
Keep basing people on people we know, then where are we supposed to
I know
get
where
all this funding?
Sweetie, I have tons of ideas for other characters.
I'm joking. It's funny.
But anyway, so this is Jolt, who was a rock star. And shit happens. Who else? Olakin. Let's talk about Olakin for a minute. This bad mofo. He gets his name from the African mythical African myth, god of the sea. So that's where he stems from. I based his look off Idris Elba. Do you see it?
Because Idris Elba is pretty.
Because he is kind of a pretty man. And originally he wasn't going to have the dreads, as some of you saw my post. He was, he didn't skip a leg day. He wasn't going to have dreads. He was going to be bald. But I'm like, bald is, he would have looked like Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, if he was bald.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this guy didn't pick a leg day. And those aren't his feet. That's just part of the costume. He actually has normal feet.
I know there were some people worried.
There were some people concerned. Lobster Boy. Yeah. Actually, there's another character I want to bring up that I did not put up. And this is Medusa. And where's it at? Here it is.
No, that's the same thing.
It's coming out. There she is. This is Medusa. She's the head of Aegis. And which, by the way, is an all-female team. Let's zoom in on her. So this is her name is Captain Susan S. Harper. Not going to tell you what the S stands for because that's actually going to be a joke in the comic that you came up with, by the way. Mm-hmm. And that's the Aegis symbol in the background because if you know mythology, that's what Medusa is an Aegis, and other creatures in mythology are Aegises. So get your Aegis on. And
then a little bit ago, and it's been answered previously, but I wanted to touch base on it again for some of you who might have joined. The question was, do we have anything that's geared more towards younger audiences? Currently, the thought out books that we have in this first run are PG-13, even with a couple of the titles a little more hard PG-13. But
see this guy? Okay, so let me explain this guy. This is Boris. Boris is a little Boston. He's kind of the Mickey Mouse of our universe. Boris will be a recurring character throughout the universe. Whether he's on a t-shirt, he's on a TV in the background, he is he's there. He's literally the Mickey Mouse of the Antis universe. And so exactly, and so does Terry, trust me.
Well, I want to make the Boris plushies.
We want to do vinyls, we want to do
like to
plushies,
manufacture
we want to do t-shirts, so on and so forth. But what the idea is that there will eventually be a Boris title that doesn't necessarily act inside of the Antis universe because it's already in the Antis universe. So when a Boris one-shot pops up, I could see that being something that is just something you'll see in the background in a comic, but you will be able to get the physical comic.
Yes.
I have a couple of ideas who I'd love to draw the Boris comic.
So when Tom says...
her name rhymes with Haiti Hook. Yes, get a Boris tattoo. Actually, I would love to get a Boris tattoo.
I will get a Boris tattoo.
But and trust me, she doesn't know that I've never approached Katie about doing it. But if I could think of any person who would do Boris justice as a comic, it would be Katie. Yeah. You know.
Yes,
exactly. Like Watchmen with the pirate story.
Yeah. This is one of the subjects that Tom and I have talked about because I'd like to be involved in some of the writing of some of the stories, and this would be one of them that I would be interested in writing. I also have another book that Tom and I have talked about that are one-shots because I don't typically want to write for a more...
Actually, that other one was a backup story, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to write for a PG-13 audience. I want to write for a slightly younger audience. I want kids to have access to our universe as well.
Yeah. And
if you get them young, they'll be hooked for life.
And here's the thing. I mean, let's face it. Most kids who are little, they know these characters. They know Batman. They know Superman. And so on. The idea is that, and here's the other thing and this is the pipe dream talking. This isn't the plan. This is something that may happen. You never know. The idea is that this is a comic universe that has broad appeal. These characters have broad appeal. These characters could literally be put on screen as is. And my idea is that if Hollywood came a knocking, they can't option Midnight without optioning M, B'Elanna, Olympus, Olakin, Jolt, Medusa, and Aegis, Boris, etc., etc. Literally, they have to take my entire universe. I don't want it broken up into a bazillion pieces. I want it. If a studio came calling to us and said we want to make a Midnight movie, I'd be like, that's awesome. You have to option everything.
I don't want to have to make deals to get.
We've been through this before.
Boris is going to be a meme. From your words to... Ugh.
Hey, who's growling? But it's kind of the idea that whenever I think about what happened with Marvel and they optioning it off to Sony or Columbia Pictures at the time and optioning it to Fox and Universal and stuff, somebody's like, let's get back to drawing, guys. All right. Pushy. All right. Somebody wants to see me draw. Okay. All right. You gotta get down, bud.
Okay.
Hi to Sherry. Hi to the boys. Awesome.
Excellent.
Appreciate it, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Let's get back to drawing. I got two anyway. So, all right. Then now you're in control of
draw, monkey boy, draw.
Of listening to people.
Back in my day, Tom colored with Prismacolors on Periscope.
I don't even use Prismacolors anymore. How weird is that?
Weird. Bella owns all the Prismacolors now?
No, I gave them to Danny.
Let's see. Maybe if Universal buys Antis, they can cross over with Namor. What will Nightbow's costume colors be?
She's going to have a reddish, a dark red colored costume.
Would you call that oxblood?
Oxblood is perfect description because actually I thought of that because of Doc Martens.
That's why I said it. What is your hardware setup for drawing electronically?
I'm running on a Mac. This is a 21UX Cintiq. It's a 21-inch screen. It's before I literally got it right before they switched to the HD, which when you really think about it is pretty funny considering had I waited another week, I could have just got that. But the program I'm working in right now is Manga Studio. I like Manga Studio because the inks are nice and clean. And example is, let me turn off the pencils so you can see how nice and neat these inks are digitally, and they come through beautifully on. Oh, there's one other one I need to. No, it's there. It is. They come through beautifully. They really do. So, and I'll do pencils in Photoshop.
I'm really sorry. I didn't want you to be too distracted.
That's all right. I needed to get back to drawing. Excuse me. I need to get back to drawing.
Wow, rude.
I know. Look who you're talking to. Come on.
Yep. So, for those of you keeping count, in just over 2 hours, we will be launching the Kickstarter. Midnight at midnight.
And spread the word, man. I mean, the only way we're going to be a success is you guys.
You guys.
You guys. Oh, that was wrong.
Where's attention? 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Pacific Standard Time, so
midnight Eastern Time.
Eastern Standard.
Oop, wrong one.
Last day for Etsy sale.
Yeah, today's the last day for the Etsy sale.
And really, let's see, have you ever tried using a Surface Pro 3 for drawing yet? Just curious.
I have not.
I think you could work well.
You know who had one for the... wait, was it Will Spartaccio who had one before he switched to a Cintiq Companion? I've seen guys use it. I've seen guys at conventions work on pages on them. So I think they work pretty well. It just depends on what you're into, what's your preference of what you want to use. I'm on the fence at the moment for whether or not what would be right for me is either the Cintiq Companion for the road or iPad Pro. I don't know yet.
I'm kind of excited about the thought of getting an iPad Pro and getting the pencil.
Yeah. I know
And then,
Katie swears by it. Scotty Young seems to really like it.
does she shoot different kinds of bows?
Yes, and you'll see that in the first story arc of Midnight. She's one of the characters I tell you will pop up in that particular story.
And to the person who just asked a question about inking, could you post it again? I missed it. I just caught it at the very end. Thank you for all the hearts.
Yes, thank you for the hearts.
Have some of the characters never met before?
Most of the characters you're going to see them meet for the first time in Phase 1.
How much does it cost for inking, pencils, and the Copics, etc.? Art supplies can be very, very expensive. The Copics are quite expensive. And I mean, Tom inks when he's inking traditionally. He typically inks
with Fibercaster pit pens and ink and brush and a Pentel pocket brush pen, and that stuff's not cheap.
Yeah.
The pens are about. I probably go through a pen a page.
ArtSupplyWarehouse.com.
ArtSupplyWarehouse.com. Yes.
For any of you who have ever seen our Art Supply Warehouse trips, you can see it's going to be crazy. Have you guys cameoed in books?
Not really. I'm not. I don't see myself cameoing in the books. The movies, yeah. But
But for those of you who know that it wouldn't be that Tom hasn't cameoed in books before. Other artists have done.
I've been on 2 covers.
Yes.
I was on an Adam Hughes cover.
Yes.
And
it was Red Sonja, right?
Red Sonja cover. And
a Punisher cover.
And a Punisher cover. Tim Bradstreet Punisher cover. Yeah. I was the main focus of the Bradstreet cover.
Was it like a Russian?
I was a Russian general / boss.
Yeah, it was.
Mob boss.
It's a funny story because Tom called me from Dallas.
Tim wanted to shave my head.
They were taking pictures for they were doing a photo shoot for a reference, and Tom called me from Dallas where they were doing the photo shoot and asked. And said, Tim Bradstreet wants me to shave my head bald. And I said, absolutely not.
So he just slicked my hair back.
Yeah. But the character on the cover is bald. And then you're a pirate on the Red Sonja.
I'm a pirate on the Red Sonja cover.
You and
did.
a couple of other artists,
It's
right?
me. It's, I think Tony Harris is one of them.
I think so.
I could be wrong, but I think it's me,
Anybody
Tony
has
Harris.
that Red Sonja cover? Let's see. Not for Tom, but the comment, or what time is it over here? We're in California, and it is currently 6:56. So we are Pacific Standard Time. Where do we get Copic refills? Typically,
We get them at Art Supply Warehouse. Whenever I buy a Copic marker, I buy a refill. And I keep track of what I need and what I don't need, because it just makes sense. And while they're more expensive, they are in the long run better because you can refill them, and you can switch out the tips. So you're only ever really needing to buy one marker.
So, and for those of you who are curious, we're launching at midnight, but midnight Eastern time because. Midnight is based in Philadelphia, which is Philly's Eastern time, right? It is, right?
Yes!
I'm just checking.
I'm a little afraid of you right now. You're the smartest person I know, and you just said that?
I was just making sure I wasn't wrong.
I'm a little afraid. Did you get hit on the head earlier?
I've been tired. They said, I'm the boss, so shush. I actually haven't been drinking, and that really is probably the problem.
Do we have booze?
You have your cider.
I also have some Dr. L in there, too.
I'd
rather try the cider. To
now I'm really sorry because I didn't know it was 6 in our time. Yeah, I might make Tom a drink. See if he gets all crazy with you. Wait, we're losing people.
Why are we losing people?
Share.
I'm drawing.
Share
I'm freaking drawing
on the
now.
Twitters and the Facebooks and the Instagrams.
The Twitters.
The Twitters on the interwebs. He's gonna start telling us to suck a butt. Yeah, suck a butt. Share or suck a butt. See, I went there. I got all crazy.
I wonder if Cher has sucked a butt. Probably.
Ooh, probably. She did. Wasn't she married to Greg Allman? No.
Yeah.
Was it Greg Allman?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say she sucked a butt.
Really? You think Greg Allman's the guy who gets his butt sucked?
No, I think that.
Who just farted over here? It was not me. It was a dog. Oh, guys, that's like. It's like cooked carrots and throw up.
Yeah. We have a lot of dogs. Okay, let's see. I love how everyone who just joined us is going to be so confused. What about the whole butt sucking thing? Anybody who's ever followed Tom before understands the suck a butt phrase.
It's the phrase that pays. Not really.
It doesn't pay at all. Okay, so let's talk about rewards for the Kickstarter while Tom is drawing. So, we wanted to make it super accessible and even for those who are, sort of dipping their toe in the water of this universe. So there is a pledge as low as $5. Hey Tom, I gave you Bristol paper at Kamikaze.
Okay.
So there is there's a $5 level that's just the digital comic for the first issue of Antis Comics Presents,
which you'll get very early. In fact, you'll get it months before the general public.
So we're hoping to have that out in April. So that's just
we will have it out in April. It'll be done by the end of March.
The book itself is it's nearly done at this point.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to
it's just a matter of all the other stuff that we have to do with it, and then it goes up to from there. And the reality is I put in some early bird rewards. So for those of you who get in on the within the first couple days, probably who are going to get the same thing as somebody who might be paying a couple extra dollars for it. How much did the digital thing cost you? We haven't actually set that up just
We haven't set it up yet. That's going to be something that's part of, we actually have, we're lucky enough that we have a good friend of ours from Red 5 Comics who is gracious enough to help us get that set up with who
do all the formatting.
Do the formatting and get it set up and introduce us to the fine folks at Comixology.
Which is sort of awesome. It's also awesome to know that the company that published the book before is still very supportive of us going out on our own and starting. How much for the sketch cover? Are we talking the reward level? You can get, let's see, where's our sketch cover?
It's a couple of...
We have a couple of ones with the sketch cover. Hold on, I'm looking. It's... So the level that has the sketch cover is $50. It includes all of the digital copies, all 3 of the first phase, early access to Aegis, which will be a web comic, and it will have a sketch cover included.
But that
one does not have a
sketch on it.
So. Tom I'm sure if you brought it up to Tom at a show and wanted to get it, or you wanted to get another artist to do... That's
kind of the point of it.
To do those characters on the book, that would be awesome too, because we'd love to see those. But there is a level actually that has a sketch cover with a character on it.
And keep in mind that, we're doing it that way because, number one, we want you guys to come and see us at cons, and 2... we want people to get other artists to do my characters on the books and post them and get it out there. I'd love to see someone. I'd love to see Art Adams draw Midnight or J. Scott Campbell draw M or something like that. Like, how cool would that be for someone to post that?
Seriously. And so, these are things that we would love to see. And so we've the sketch cover. Is if I get a Todd Knox sketch on it, will you guys hate me? No, we love Todd.
I love Todd. No, Todd.
Absolutely, we know Todd.
This is, like I said, this is the point. That's the point of...
Mark Silvestri.
Oh my God, it'd be awesome. Seriously.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. We have no qualms about other people drawing the characters.
Nothing would make me happier than to see other artists drawing my characters. Granted, I wouldn't be excited about some random guy in Artist Alley doing prints of my characters. No, that would actually piss me off quite a bit. But for people to request my characters to other artists, that's awesome. That would be amazing.
Oh, the wind. And just so you guys know, stop.
We had a lot of storms here.
Really bad windstorm.
Hey.
It's upsetting our dogs.
Bella.
This sketch cover. Do you remember when the sketch cover we're expecting it?
What are you talking about?
When we're expecting the print of it.
It's going to be printed with the first issue.
Okay. So if you get the sketch cover without this sketch, we would send it along with the
it would go with
issue.
Yeah.
So that would be plenty of time for the summer cons. We're right in the summer cons.
Yeah, right in the season. But there's plenty of fall cons now, too, that run into the fall.
Yes, absolutely.
Con season literally ends in December and picks up at the end of January. Like, there's like a month break now for conventions.
It used to be that, like, December, January, February. Like, was it... WonderCon used to be in February?
WonderCon used to be in January. First WonderCon I did was in January.
Really?
Yeah.
That's when it was still in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
I'll make some more tea.
Okay. Just so you guys know, my workspace is off the kitchen. That's why you can hear the stove start.
It's in our dining room, which is just off the kitchen.
I have a kit.
You have a kit?
Yeah, he's hanging over here.
We have a bedroom that the entire purpose of was supposed to be Tom's office, but he didn't like to be so separated.
I'll leave me alone.
He gets sad when he's alone. Somebody asked earlier when we were thinking about going to Disneyland. Actually, we were thinking about going tomorrow, depending on
weather.
Depending on the weather. Do you have any rivalries in art?
I
can't think of
anybody. No, I can't think of anybody that, like, I'm like, here's the thing, and I said this earlier. We work in an industry that's small and has a lot of talent, and I'm doing this besides the fact that I think it's long overdue. I've had midnight written for. I can't. Come on, buddy. You can't.
Start moving.
I know. It's why I'm trying. He's like really. He's got his attention on something over here. Like he did just there. He just added that. There's a lot of talent in this industry, and it's Ket. Come on, buddy. What are you doing? You're acting crazy, man. Ket.
Don't do the squirt.
I know.
Yeah.
Just showing it to him.
Greetings from Argentina.
Hello. As I was saying, there's a lot of talent in this industry, and I have a lot of friends in this industry, and some are making it like crazy, and some are still trying to get that gig. And I'm actually one of those people who, I was lucky early on, and it got some recognition, but I feel like now is the time for us to launch this stuff. I think it's long overdue. We've had a lot of people who've wanted us to do it, and now we're doing it.
Us literally creating our own destiny.
Yes.
I mean, it's you can sit there and just let the world happen around you, or you can be a part of its creation. And we are creating our destiny.
And I feel like we have a great product. One thing I don't need to beat Marvel and DC at what they do.
No.
I want to be part of the conversation.
You're scared of making enemies in the future, then the best way not to make enemies in the art world is don't talk crap on other artists.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you don't like someone's work, if you don't like the way somebody is, just move along. It's the best way you could do it. There's no reason. It's a small industry. I know there's a lot of. I know of a lot of feuds in the industry. Nothing I'm going to get into because it's none of my business to comment on them. But I mean, the reality is that we work in a small industry. You're going to run into these people. I'd rather be friends with somebody than make an enemy because I don't like the way they draw a certain character or But granted, I mean, if somebody's trying to make money off of my stuff and doing it illegally, I would have words with them. You'll never see me draw and sell a print. I mean, you'll find me do commissions of Hellboy or Spawn or something, but I won't do prints of those characters. Those are characters owned by artists. When I do a Star Wars print, I worked on Star Wars. I don't do it as much as I used to. In fact, I mean, it's definitely one of those things I'm really not doing much of anymore. I did the Force Awakens piece for an event, and I happen to have a bunch of leftover prints. That's why I was selling those.
For those people who do prints of things that they don't own in Artist Alley, legitimately they are breaking copyright law. Now, a lot of companies will turn a blind eye.
Especially if you've done work for them.
Especially if you've done work for them. But the reality is, if you don't own the character, then and which is why I prefer Tom not to do them. And at some point in his career, he did do some other stuff.
I did.
But
we've put a stop to it. We've literally decided enough is enough. It's time to work on our own stuff and not do copyrighted material that we have no business.
There are ways to get around the copyrights. There's all kinds of
there's parody.
There's parody, which is really what if you look at the princess stuff that Tom did recently, that's part of that parody clause. But sorry, I'm making myself some tea. It falls under that whole parody thing, but it's better to, like I said, to sort of to create your own destiny. Actually, it's peppermint. It's my favorite. So, yeah, we want to be those people that took the chance. And if it doesn't work out, if it doesn't happen for us, then it really doesn't matter, because in the end we tried, and you
can't fault someone for trying.
Fault somebody for trying. But we think it's going to work out.
I'm pretty confident that this is going to be.
We've been working on these images, these characters for years and years and years, and it's time.
I've had way too many fellow artists and writers and people who've seen my stuff and have said this is great, this is cool, this is something that I would read. This is something I would want to see how it plays out.
I don't know that we'll be selling prints of the characters at WonderCon, but I do expect to start selling prints of some of these characters at some point. I don't know that WonderCon is.
It depends. WonderCon's at the end of March. It's quite possible that there may be at least a character print.
Exactly. Better than being old and regretting not doing it. I'd rather try and fail than regret not trying at all.
Exactly.
But again, that being said, I don't think we're gonna fail.
I don't think we're gonna. I think we got this. I'm feeling really good about what we're trying to do.
So really, as for the different levels, the different tiers that you can pledge for on Kickstarter, excuse me, it goes from $5 to the very least one, which is a digital, and to the most expensive one is $85 in regards to actual merchandise and stuff. Although we do have some vanity levels.
Vanity levels, which start at, is it $250 or $500?
I'm sorry. $250 is when you start getting original art from
the books.
But at $500, the vanity levels start, where you can get cameos and become reoccurring characters and perhaps sidekicks or henchmen or villains or heroes. So, and when I say you can, it was,
it's designed at, if you're
base it on you or whoever you choose.
Your kid, your grandkid, your niece, your nephew, your best friend, your spouse.
I want to see somebody who chooses the hero level, but it's their infant child.
Yeah, that's
going to be amazing.
I would literally, I would honestly say that would not be able to happen. And I would be sad to say it, but it would not be able to happen.
Come on, that'd be so cool.
No, it wouldn't. Please stop giving people ideas. I'll murder you in your sleep. I know where you sleep.
They've all heard this. There are 20 people currently.
You know what? If it happens, they'll know why. And you know what? They'll probably keep their mouth shut, because they're all probably like, that is a stupid idea. She deserved to die.
This is currently everything that is in the Antis universe is somebody said suck a butt. Currently, everything in the Antis universe is created by us, And but that's not to say one of our main important aspects.
Well, wait, no, be careful with what you say right now. Yes, it's important that if we bring on artists to hire and so on and so forth, that's one thing. Go ahead.
It is all created by us currently, but at some point it is possible that somebody could write a story for us. The important thing to our company is that the other creative people that are involved get paid appropriately.
That's
So we want to make sure
that's not what they're asking now.
Yes, it is. They asked it.
They're asking if someone would create. Basically, would we let someone create characters to go in our universe? That's not something that I can say for sure would happen, because this is our universe.
Yeah.
Writing, nothing would make me happier than to have other writers and artists write stories and get residuals and royalties from those stories. Absolutely. But when it would come to ownership of characters, it would really be a select few. That's where I know they were going with that. That's why I interrupted. I'm sorry. But that's why I interrupted, because I don't want to give people the impression that we're like Image. We are building a universe based off of what we're doing. So... yeah. All right.
Any other questions? And yes, to the person who asked about your software, it is Mega Studio that Tom's working on.
Yes.
And to the person who answered him, thank you. Wow, it just got quiet.
I know. The dogs are quiet. Although I hear something happening with the wind.
Will Train get other armors throughout the series?
I didn't show Train tonight. I showed Train the other night. I do not know. Right now, I think the one armor that he has is going to be quite enough. He's not like Iron Man. He's just wearing a suit that he can plow through shit.
What color will Olympus's costume be?
That is still up in the air. But it's definitely got a lot of black in it. I haven't decided on a color scheme for him yet.
Catch account? No. Catch. It's a different app.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Okay.
Do you think there are trash cans that are going down the road?
No, that's the neighbor's trash cans sliding in their driveway.
There's a fairly nasty storm going through California today, so we've gotten quite rainy, and the wind has been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Harley is over here whining.
I know, she wants something.
Yeah, she's also not happy that I sprayed her in the face.
Well, she had it coming. She was being a butthead.
We have some water bottle training going on with the dogs.
Yeah. If there are no more questions.
Are there any artists that you'd like to do exclusive covers for in the future?
Oh,
we talked
yeah.
about it earlier. There are several.
There's a few I've already talked to about it that are interested. There are a few who I have put inquiries out for that I will talk to face about it. But it will happen eventually. That's an absolute guarantee that will happen. I'm kind of hoping that M1 has a variant cover, or at least a cover by somebody else. Just waiting to talk to them face to face about it.
Boris is awesome. He's got little red eyes. He's got a little allergy
action going on.
But he's doing well. He's excited that somebody's talking about him, so he's just jumped up on my leg, getting scritches. Boris likes to be talked about.
Yes. Boris is Boris's favorite subject.
It's kind of an attention whore, aren't you? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're probably going to give him a little Benadryl tonight.
Yeah. Do we have enough to give it to him, or do we have to go out?
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Okay.
It helps a lot.
It's the weather. All right. And we're going to do a little tricky trick.
What tricky trick are you doing?
I'm going to make several arrows out of one. Yay!
What?
What?
That's just crazy talk. What? See, there's some cool aspects of being able to work digitally.
And what I'll do is, and then we'll take this, and then we'll erase this.
Yeah, the rain stopped for a little bit. I don't even know if it's raining right now.
I think it's just windy right now. I don't know if it's raining. I think the rain has stopped.
Dear Boston says hello to our Boston.
Hello, Boston.
Hello, Boston.
Okay, get a few more.
Boris is very excited.
People are talking about me. That's awesome.
I'm going to probably give them some you-know-whats.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to step away from the screen for a second so I can bribe my dogs with treats.
I'm going to continue to work while she does, so hold off on your questions for a
So
moment.
if you hear a commotion, that's probably what it's all about. Slow.
See what I'm doing here is I'm just
Slow.
taking them. I'm doing one, then I'll do another one, and now I'm going to double those up. And oh wait, it only did the two. That's not right. All right, that's all right. Let's put those back here.
Wow.
Just
That was relatively quiet.
it was quieter than I expected it to be.
Usually they're all crazy. Okay.
Okay.
Is everybody completely amused by your arrow floating?
No, I don't think so.
Nifty. I like that word, nifty. This is Manga Studios.
Manga Studio.
Manga Studio. No S on the end. Best restaurant in Disneyland.
In the park or in the resort? That's better.
In Disneyland.
In
I'm
Disneyland.
particularly fond of Carnation Cafe.
I love Carnation Cafe.
Blue Bayou's okay.
Blue Bayou's good.
The best restaurant in Disneyland is Club 33.
Yes.
But
That's not public access.
in Disney California Adventure, I'm going to say it has to be Carthay. But for walk-up food, Flo's. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the resort, I'm pretty fond of Steakhouse 55. It's
Steakhouse 55 and Napa Rose.
Napa Rose is at the Grand Californian Hotel.
It's
and
on
Spa.
the resort.
So those are all on the resort. But Steakhouse 55 is a restaurant that I've been going into since I was a little girl in one fashion or another. When I was little, it was called Granville's.
But that's where we went for our anniversary. Love that place. I love Carthay Circle. I love Napa Rose. Yeah, just a big fan of the food is a lot different than it used to be at the resorts.
If you're planning on going to all the restaurants, remember, since you are now an annual pass holder, you get discounts. So make sure you're showing them your annual pass.
And make reservations.
And make reservations. You can make them up to 60 days in advance. Oh, and Steakhouse 55 has a new tea.
Which is booked through March.
It's booked out later now, I think.
Is it?
It's pretty much booked 60 days out. So they do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's tea.
Let's see how this is looking without the pencils. Hold on, let me pull that down a little bit.
Is there a hero in the universe that the other heroes can't stand and hate?
Not yet, but it will happen. I have something planned. I have something planned down the road. There's going to be a couple of things. That's the thing. Like, that's why it's so important. That's why the Kickstarter is so important.
Hold on one sec. It's manga. Thank you. Go ahead.
That's why the Kickstarter is so important, because there's so many things I want to do, so many ideas I have that the Kickstarter will allow us to do it. And I mean, the goal is $40,000. but we have stretch goals going all the way through to the whole first phase. I mean, we only have it listed to...
Is that your reference, Deadpool? That somebody like Deadpool? That'd be interesting, because Deadpool was actually created here by a guy who grew up in Anaheim.
Yeah, it's true. I saw Rob last week. I don't know Rob personally, but I saw him last week at FatCon.
And he grew up pretty much down the road from where we are now.
Yeah. So, yeah. How's she looking, guys?
Boris cool.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
Oh my god. Let's dress up Boris like Deadpool. Totally putting that costume on him.
So why don't we give it, what time is it now?
It is 7:25.
You want to do maybe 10 more minutes and then call it a night?
Yeah.
Because we got to get some dinner. We haven't eaten yet.
We have to prepare for the launch.
The launch,
Woo! Which is in
woo!
about an hour and a half. Woo! Is her hair braided on the top, or what's going
It's long, but it's braided in the back and it's shaved on the sides.
on? Kind of like a slick back mohawk?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
When she's in action, this is how you'll see her.
Would you say at any point will there be any male bun action, hair bun going on?
On her?
No. And
No.
any character?
No.
Say no. Like from the beginning.
No.
I need you dedicated to the fact that this
I'm not a fan of the
male
man bun. I'm not a fan of the hipster beard, although one side character will have one.
Well, but there's a good reason for that.
Yes. Actually, it's not Ryan. I don't consider Ryan's a hipster beard.
But he has an epic mustache.
Oh, well, that's
He's
part
a
of it,
little
yes.
hipster looking.
The epic mustache will be there.
Yeah. Further down the road, do you plan on doing international characters, locations?
Well, Olakin is African. So and
So
Balana
not-
is Roman.
Not that further down the road.
But yeah, there will be other characters.
And really, this is, just an excuse for us to be able to visit international locations.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I would love to be invited to some of those international conventions. I mean, I get asked all the time, you come into London, you come in Australia, it's like, got to tell the promoters that you want us there.
Yeah.
And that's for here, too. I mean, that's not just overseas. You want us at a con in the United States, tell the promoters.
Is the middle design on the costumes an Aegis team design, or is
Yes.
it just like it?
It is an Aegis team design. Good eye.
I'll let San Diego know.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm already scheduled to be an artist
It'd
alley.
be super nice to be guest,
It would be cool to be.
Okay.
It would be cool to be guest.
As for the age level of the comic, this is the series as it's planned right now is primarily PG-13, with some of the books being a little hard on the PG-13. But we have a couple of one-shots that are planned that are a little more kid-friendly. Definitely still fun for adults.
Yeah.
And those are the books that I really want to write.
Terry will be really involved in the all ages books.
Yeah. Does Nightbow have a trick arrow?
She's got several, and you'll get to see at least one of them in the first Anna's Comics Presents series, the Midnight Books.
We are not planning an R rating in the comics.
Yeah, I want to make it as accessible as possible. Granted, that doesn't mean down the line it won't happen. I mean, it definitely could happen, but it's not
our focus.
It's not our focus.
Guessing no, but is there a multiverse?
No comment. You never know what's going to happen. And I'd rather not give away too much yet.
Dun, dun, dun. I love that. I'm sorry, I had to do the sound effect, too. Do any characters ever go to Disneyland?
There will be a form of Disneyland.
Remember that Boris
Remember
is
the character
sort
Boris.
of, I I mean, I hate to say
For those who weren't here for it, wait, let's bring them up.
I hate to say it, but I mean to use that phrasing, but Boris is our Mickey Mouse, if you will, and which means that everybody in the world knows who Boris is, and everybody has some sort of frame of reference of Boris. Because let's be honest, Mickey Mouse is the most known character in the world always. So, essentially, Boris
That's
will
Harley
be our
Quinn,
Mickey
by the way,
Mouse.
scratching herself and hitting the side of a drawer.
Do you have any celebrity cameos in the book? No comment.
No comment, because there's something I'm working on with a friend of a friend, and if I get it, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, and not to sort of toot our own horn, but we do know a few people who are known for doing stuff, and might.
Yes, Boris does have a bent tail in real life.
Yes, he does.
That's not even a joke. His tail looks like a lightning bolt.
Yeah. And who knows that...
There will be... That's the thing. Boris will be everywhere. Boris T-shirts and on TV in the background.
And perhaps somebody will be reading a Boris comic that might eventually make its way around.
Exactly.
Boris is like, why are you talking about me so much? I've already thought about making Boris stickers. That is
stickers, buttons, plushies, vinyls.
But I really want to put together a Boris plush. I think that would be super awesome. And vinyl figures was also my other plan. But of course, stickers and buttons. So those are awesome. I would like a Boris sticker on the back of my MacBook Pro. Has anybody started a Boris fan club yet?
Not yet. But I think it's coming.
How long have the heroes been active?
Midnight, at this point, has been active for several years. In fact, we're picking up 10 years after the original Red 5 Midnight story. He's the one who is the longest in action. Whereas, B'Elanna is different because she's considered ancient. A myth. She's ancient in a lot of ways. But
she looks good for her age.
She looks great for her age. Let's look at B'Elanna again.
Somebody said that Boris at the end will reveal himself as the architect of Doom.
Boris is Snoke.
Boris is Snoke.
And that's actually an aspect of B'Elanna. If you read about the Roman god B'Elanna, which is who she's loosely based off of. Her helmet, her spear, and her shield, and her horn are aspects of her that she always has. So I created a horn for her. I created her armor with her chest plate. This was a detail I came up with at last minute, but I kind of really dig it. Was the spiked spine up her back? I thought it would be, and it's armor.
Is that a hidden cat in the strap?
What, right here?
Yeah. No. Here. I see it.
Oh, here?
It looks like a cat.
I thought it was more of a skull, but yeah, now that I look at it, it's more of a cat.
It's kind of cat. Or a really adorable bear.
There was a part of me that was going to do the markings in the helmet to look like the clone commander I designed for the Clone Wars comic, Commander Ganch. But I am going to put that somewhere else. So... somebody just posted it? Wait, somebody just posted in the Spoilers Awakens. There's a part of me that thinks they took a screen cap of Boris and they put it next to a picture of Snoke.
Boris is Snoke.
Boris is Snoke.
Now we know.
He's got a nose. He's got eyes.
He's got a nose.
It's totally Snoke.
He's got a nose.
It's the scar. The giant mark down his face.
He does. He totally has that mark. My boy. Awesome. Now what I'm seeing.
Oh, I'm using the wrong pen. By the way, if you use Manga Studio, or if you get it, to ink, honestly, the G pen. That's it. That's all you need. It's got a great line. Oh, this needs to go a little higher. Andy Serkis will mocap Boris in the movie.
That would be like a dream come true. Andy Serkis is the best. Boris is so excited by the prospect of that, he just jumped up. Yeah. That's my boy. Boris did a double backflip. I've actually seen Boris do a single backflip, but not well. He's not really aware that his body doesn't move that way. He's a little thick in the middle. He's not thick.
He's not fat. He's all muscle, but
he's all muscly. He's a sturdy little dog.
What time is it? We're just about done, I think.
It is 7:35.
Why don't we call this?
I pledge allegiance to Boris.
So I'm about to post after I get off here. I'm going to post on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter about the Kickstarter to kind of give you guys, it's basically a call to action. I would love to see everyone get involved. I want people to retweet. I want people to get the word out there. If you're a comic fan, if you know comic fans, let people know what's going on.
I know comic fans. Let's try to reconnect. Whoop. There it goes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And we will post crazy amounts of.
We'll have regular updates and posts and more Periscopes during this time. I'll do Periscopes while I'm working on pages. Just to keep you guys involved and keep you guys updated.
You don't have to do a donation jar. We don't want donations. We want you to comics.
We want you guys to get rewards. It's not about donations.
I want to send you comics.
It's not about donations. It's about giving you guys a product.
And then I want those comics to be so amazing that you want to tell all your friends to buy those comics too. New York Comic Con.
Possible. I have yet to get. I don't know. I'd love to. It would definitely be on the list of things I want to do this year.
It may not be something we do this year, but
definitely next year. No matter what, I think next year is going to be the big travel year. But I'm going to do as many things as I can once the books start coming out. If I can get into New York this year, I will. Con appearances will be listed as soon as we have them.
Yeah.
I do know I'll be at Long Beach Expo next month, and the following month, WonderCon.
And Tom and I actually...
at San Diego Comic-Con, yes.
This year, Tom will be at San Diego Comic-Con in Artist Alley. I put up for a booth for Small Press, but unfortunately, because the comic hadn't been published yet, we didn't qualify, but...
Next year.
We will qualify this year. It is on a bid process, so hopefully we'll get in as Small Press, so we'll have actually two separate tables, one for Antis and one
for me.
For Tom. And the comic, the question was, when will the comic be released? For those of you who pledge even as low as the $5 level, you will get the first issue of Midnight, the Antis Comics Presents
a digital copy in April.
A digital copy in April.
And subsequent digital issues, depending on what tier you get, 4 to 6 weeks after each one.
Yeah.
So monthly.
They want to see Boris one more time.
Boop.
Was Terry a comic fan before meeting Tom? Actually, I grew up a Marvel fan. My brother was huge into... people are taking pictures. My brother was a huge Marvel fan and introduced me to a lot of the characters. Although, I'm not going to lie, as a very little girl, I owned all the Wonder Woman underoos. And Supergirl, too. But I grew up a Marvel fan. I know more about comics now than I did then. But, it's been a good 15 years with Tom learning all this stuff. I also know a lot more about Star Wars than I ever thought I would ever know. People are making Boris their screensavers. Nice.
I'll tell you what. I will, for people who pledge, I will send out a Boris screensaver for their phones.
There you go.
As a thank you, you'll get a Boris screensaver. I'll make one up.
And I've actually thought if we hit some of our stretch goals, I'd like to have some stickers produced and add those to the packages as well.
Yes.
So some vinyl stickers would be cool, like, you know, nice stickers to add to all of the actual tangible rewards. We're also looking at getting those priced so that I can sell them at cons. We're also interested in doing actual patches.
Aegis patches like they have
Aegis
on their
patches,
shoulder.
Antis Comics patches, and yes, Boris patches.
Yes.
Window decals.
And the kind of patches that go on the Think Geek bags, the con bags.
Bag of holding with the Velcro top. I'd like to have some of them that are Velcro, so they will attach to those Think Geek bags, because it would be awesome to walk around a con and see those patches on people's bags. So
you can currently buy Boris T-shirts on my TeePublic site.
Yeah. So
and Antis T-shirts. Wait,
did you do stickers? I thought you did stickers.
I think there's stickers on there too.
Yeah. That's what the Velcro is for. Yes. So you can stick your own stuff. Aegis T-shirts.
There's Aegis T-shirts.
And
Property of Aegis T-shirts.
And we have Antis Comics.
Antis Comics shirts in there. I believe there's a Boris shirt in there. If not, I will make sure one gets made.
Our official launch date for Antis Comics was January 1st. That is the start of our company officially, and in just a little more than an hour, the Kickstarter will start. And within a couple of months, we'll actually have a comic out digitally. So, and then not too long after that, we'll have the tangible comic as well. So it'll be super amazing, and I'm excited, and I hope you guys are as well.
And get your friends excited, and get people you know who like comics excited about it. Really spread the word. It's going to be amazing what we can do as you know, as a small company.
What site are you using for the t-shirts?
Right now, they're on my TeePublic under HodgesArt.
Cool.
So
for those of you who asked, you can take a look at those.
But I will say that if there is a stretch goal in the future, if we reach past what we're at right now with stretch goals, that would be about T-shirts and other merchandise.
Yeah, we'll start adding those in. Okay, I think it is time to wrap up. We have a lot to do before our Kickstarter launches, and
I'll post a finished image of Nightbow shortly once I'm done with her, because I'm going to continue to work, but we got to get some food.
And to be perfectly honest, we're hungry.
Yes. So, guys, have a great night. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate your questions. We're really, you guys are gonna be what makes us successful. Spread the word, get it out there, and thank you very much for all your support.
Thank you.